Chapter 63. The Wandering Soul. Riel didn't understand what the lady in white was telling her, so the lady told her to follow suit, for she had something to show her. They walked back to her suite. The lady in white told Riel to look closely inside the room. Riel was petrified. No, that's not me. I am here standing with you. Whom was that, looking like me? You are that person lying in the bed, Riel. You are a wandering soul. What are you talking about? This is me, Anne. The lady cut her. You're wandering around. Riel panicked. Does it mean I'm dead? No, I can't be dead, Riel cried, horrified. No, you're not dead, if you would stay within the perimeter. Once you continue wandering around, without taking notice of your boundary, you will not be able to come back anymore, and that's when you will become a wandering soul like me, the lady in white sadly explained. You must be near your body. Do not be tempted to wander, or follow someone you know, because once you get out from your boundary, you might not find your way back to your body. But how will I know it is time for me to return? Riel asked. Bend on. When a white light is emanating from your body, it is high time that you must return, and if you fail to do that because of your wandering, the light may cease, and that's the end of you. So stay close, and listen to those who come to your bedside, which will help wake your senses, advised the lady in white. Riel was listening to the lady in white intently, when she saw the coming of someone familiar to her. It was Hyunki. Looking closely at him, Hyunki looked gloomy, and his looks were indescribable. He approached Mrs. Kalma and asked her permission if he could go near Riel. Mrs. Kalma nodded, sympathizing with his feelings. With a heavy heart, Hyunki stared at Riel sadly, then he touched Riel's face, her forehead tracing with his fingers, down to her nose, then to her eyes, cheeks, and lastly to her lips. Then he placed the chair close to her bedside, sat, and bent his body closer to Riel, and as he whispered, he placed his hand under Riel's palm and grasped it tightly. How are you, babe? I missed you so much. Looking at you sleeping, you're so beautiful. I miss staring at that face whenever you are asleep. You're even more beautiful when you wake up. Sweetheart, please come back. I missed you so badly, and I couldn't help yearning for you. I felt so stupid when I hurled angry and mocking words to you, because I was hurt, Riel. I couldn't stand seeing you with another man, with Akio, even if he told me that you were only good friends. I want you all to myself, because that's how I loved you so much. And I felt sorry for losing you. I thought if I let my anger in my head and heart, it would be easy for me to forget you, up to the point of replacing you with another girl. But I was wrong. Sarah could not fill in the void, love and emotions I had for you, because my heart and soul took you in, as the center of my life. Hyunki paused, clasped her hand with his hands, and raised it to his face, clutching it tightly. And tears were beginning to shed from his eyes. Then he continued, remember when you asked me to marry you? When you ordered me to kneel before you, and propose to you? I wanted that to happen if not only your amnesia hindered me, but then suddenly you changed your heart because you recalled having loved Hwanchul. Your love for my brother was resurrected. Then you dumped me. I was so hurt, and that hurt was so above me, that I couldn't help seeing you getting married to Hwanchul. That's why I left. If only I had known that your wedding didn't push through, I should not have left. I should have stayed. Please come back to me, Riel. You're my life. Standing beside the bed, facing Hyunki at that moment, Riel felt his emotions, that she couldn't help herself weep with him. She wanted to hold his hands and embrace him, but her soul could not touch him. Then she saw herself in bed, tears flowing from her closed eyes. Hyunki caught those tears streaming from her eyes, and the more he gave out muffled tears and whispered to her ears, please wake up, Riel. Come back, and let us start all over again. Riel cried and then wailed, because she could not tell Hyunki how she felt, and Riel wished she could tell him that she loved him too. Hyunki rose from his chair, kissed her forehead, and moved away from the chair, and then he stopped, looked at Riel again, then bent and pressed his lips on Riel's lips. Riel was amazed because she felt the kiss. And as Hyunki walked away, Riel ran after him and embraced him from behind, but nothing changed. Still, she could not touch him. She stood there, watching him leave. Riel sat close to her mom's side, and heard her sisters talk. Mom, what if Riel has another relapse for another amnesia? I could not take that anymore. My poor dear sister, do not let her enter that same condition again, Zia exclaimed. If that may happen, she might not even remember us anymore. Donna was fearful. Don't talk like that. pray that Riel will go back to her usual self. It was her heart, not her head, that had a trauma. I know she'll fully recover, Mrs. Kalma confidently said. A few hours later, after Hyun-ki left, Akio was heading to Mrs. Kalma's place. He bowed, then let her know that he wanted to see Riel. He had in his hands a lavender bouquet, Rieler's favorite flower. Unbeknownst to him, it became Rieler's favorite because Hyun-ki always gave that to her, symbolizing purity, devotion, and love. And Akio thought it would help waken Rieler's senses because of its sweet smell. When he went to see Riel in her room, Akio couldn't help staring at Riel, for he found her so beautiful even in her sleep. Before placing the bouquet on the side table, he took a stalk and put it under Rieler's nose, to make her smell the scent. Then he spoke smilingly. "Hello, my beautiful friend. Recognize this smell? It's your favorite flower. I hope this will help to wake you up." Then he placed the bouquet on the side table and sat. Riel was so glad to see Akio, but the scent filled the room. She thought about how thoughtful he was. She sat before Akio, folded her legs in meditation, placed her elbow on her thigh, leaned her chin on her palm, and listened to Akio. "Hey, friend. I missed you so much. I missed having our meals together. I missed bringing you to work and picking you up for home. I missed our conversations." Akio placed his palm under Rieler's hand and squeezed it. "Please wake up, Riel. I want you to see my project's completion, and the houses I designed and built in my subdivision, for my clients. And soon, I will be developing another subdivision. I also accepted a project of building a resort hotel, but it is out of this town. I would want you to ride with me on my helicopter, to see the view of my nearly completed subdivision, before I leave it for another one. Though I would truly miss you, Riel, I hope you will wake up soon, before I go to another place for my new project. I could not leave without saying goodbye, not in your present condition. I want to say goodbye eye to eye with you, to see your sweet smile, to feel your warmth." "Oh, what am I saying?" Akio held Rieler's hand, squeezing it and bringing it to his lips, and said softly, "I feel like I'm falling in love with you, Riel. I wish I could say this to you boldly, but I'm afraid you might stay away from me, because you see me only as a friend. I don't know how I could express this to you, but I'll have to wait until I can muster my courage to tell you how I feel for you. Still, I could only whisper, I love you, Riel." "Yes, I love you so much." Riel felt bothered by Akio's confession. She felt terrible because she could not reciprocate his feelings for her. She wanted Akio so much as a friend, someone she could confide in and rely on, as a friend, unconditionally. She prayed that someday, Akio could accept her as a special friend but not a lover. Akio was squeezing her hand when he felt Rieler's fingers move. Akio got excited that he pinned the bell hard, to call the doctor and nurses to see her immediately. At the same time, Riel felt Akio's squeeze of her hand. Then, when she turned to her body, she saw the bright white light shining in her body. The lady in white told her to get into her body at once. "You're getting your life back, Riel. Good luck with your new life." The doctor and nurses crowded her, and Rieler's mom with her sisters. Akio was very anxious to see her back again. They stood there, waiting for her to move or open her eyes. After a few more minutes, Rieler's eyeballs were moving, her eyes slowly opening. Everyone sighed and chortled when Riel completely opened her eyes. The doctor lifted her eyelids and checked her eyes with a small flashlight, then asked, "What is this?" showing his hand, and Riel replied, "It's your hand," then showed his fingers and asked Riel how many they were, and Riel replied, 3, then asked Riel again, "What's your full name and age?" Riel replied, "My name is Gabrielle Marie Kalma, and I am 26. Mrs. Kalma was so happy, and she embraced Riel. "Welcome back, Riel." "Oh, thank God. You've returned with your good senses," cried Mrs. Kalma. Riel was back with her usual self. Could she recall the confessions of Hyun-ki and Akio? Keep following the Windows of the Heart series. More exciting episodes are coming. Thank you.